Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. This is going to be my Arrow episode 11 video. Just careful for spoilers. If you haven't seen the episode yet, we have to talk about all kinds of Black Canary, Talia al Ghul stuff. So right off the bat, if you didn't catch the end of the episode, she says her name is really Dinah Drake, the original version of the Black Canary from the Golden Age comics. Her daughter became Dinah Laurel Lance. So I feel like they averted a giant fandom landmine. Like, people were already upset because of what was going on with Laurel, but then they saw that this new Black Canary was coming in and she wasn't from the comics. How dare they? But turns out that was a fake name, so I am so happy with the way this went down. In celebration of that, there's a new round of the Injustice 2 giveaway. I'm giving away a copy of the game. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave a comment about the episode on this video. And just a reminder that giveaway winners are announced at the end of videos. I get a lot of weird questions about that sometimes. So I'll explain what's going on with Dinah Drake, what the TV show is probably going to do with her, because it's not going to be so easy. She's not immediately going to start being Black Canary. But the Talia al Ghul stuff will come back in present day as well. So top 10 WTF in comic book Easter eggs, there were a lot of them. So the beginning of the episode is sort of the origin of the Tina Boland character as we know her. We didn't learn her real name to the end of the episode. That's when everyone was screaming. So we see that she was in Central City. We learned that she was an undercover cop trying to take down Sonus, who's actually a character from the comics I'll explain in a second. But basically it's a drug ring she was trying to take down. So she was there the night of the particle accelerator explosion. So she got metahuman powers. She's screaming, so she basically has sonic abilities. In number 9, as we learn, her real name is Dinah Drake, the original Golden Age version of the Black Canary. So what ended up happening is that later in the comics, during the Silver Age, they made it a mother-daughter thing. So her daughter became the Dinah Laurel Lance character. So when most people think of Green Arrow, Black Canary being together in the comics, being a couple, that's the Dinah Laurel Lance version of the character, the daughter of the Golden Age Black Canary. But in the Golden Age comics, during the Justice Society Brave and the Bold team-ups, she actually meets the Green Arrow and they develop a relationship. So even the Golden Age version of the character was in love with that version of Green Arrow. But you have to remember that they retcon stuff as they get to the Silver Age. There's Crisis on Infinite Earths. So the modern version that most of you have been reading this whole time is the younger daughter version of the character. The way they set her character up is relatively comic book accurate. She was a police detective on the TV show. In the comics, Dinah Drake was trained by her father to become a police detective, but he ends up getting killed and she's denied entry to the police academy, so she takes it upon herself to become a vigilante. So the Arrow version of the character is actually pretty comic book accurate. But number 8, you can kind of see with her backstory that it's a mirror for Oliver's backstory. He spent his time on the island. She had her own version of the island, which was like her undercover work, this crucible that she had to survive. She's sort of like Season 1 Oliver right now with her own version of the list. That's what her vision board of death and revenge looks like. It's basically Oliver's list. So in the way that he's come this far since that original version of himself, the Hood, which I'll talk about in a second too, because we get to see the Season 1 costume again and the Season 1 bow. She's still in super stabby mode, and that's just their way of showing you that it's not going to be so easy. Like, they aren't just going to roll up, offer her membership, and she's going to be like, oh, okay, I don't want revenge for my partner's death anymore. So I kind of like the way they're taking their time in getting her to actual Black Canary, because she hasn't taken up the mantle yet. She just said that she's in for her second chance. Number 7 was the Felicity storyline. The way they explained this is that Diggle's freedom would come at the cost of Felicity. So she's sort of selling out to this darker crowd. I know they made it seem kind of cheerful, but she's actually going to be doing some pretty hardcore illegal stuff. So she's still trying to do good things this season, but it's just going to take her down a very dark path. And when they say dark, they mean interesting. So she'll be doing a lot of really cool stuff. That's what the Pandora program was. It was basically a program for opening up all this information on really bad companies, really bad people, and it might even end up causing some collateral damage. Usually when one of the heroes inside the team does something really dark and makes some big win, usually it comes at some great price. So we just haven't seen the price that Felicity's going to have to pay to have all this power. Number 6, Oliver finally gets to meet Talia. It doesn't sound like he totally understands where she comes from. She makes some jokes about her age, like her longevity, the fact that she's very young. She trained Yao Fei is something of a family secret that he'll learn about when he gets involved with the League of Assassins later in life, as we've seen in previous seasons. So in the comics, Talia is older than Nyssa. I totally think they can do some Talia versus Nyssa in a future episode if Katrina Law becomes available, because she's part of the Training Day TV show now. She's a series regular, so she's just unavailable for Arrow. So I think that opened the door for them to bring Talia on the show. But she's sort of setting Oliver on the path, and the first big test is taking down this human trafficker who's giving Kovar all this money. So it's all just a big reminder of who Oliver is. He's running from the person that he needs to be. She's trying to remind him of that he has a purpose, and that purpose is the list. Number 5 was All the Big Belly Burger. This wasn't as much of a WTF, it was just like a really fun Easter egg, because in season 1, they actually had a big belly burger set where they shot a lot of scenes. So when people say that Arrow season 5 is going back to its season 1 roots in the way it tells stories, the things that it does, it is very literally going back to some big season 1 things, including number 4, the original season 1 costume in the season 1 bow, with the message that Oliver reads at the beginning of each episode where Talia says, "You need to become something else, someone else." That's Stephen Amell's voiceover at the beginning of every single episode. So the whole thing here is that this is the last big step as Oliver trains to go back to Star City and start crossing names off the list. So I'll talk about the flashbacks at the end of this, because even though this is the last season of these type of flashbacks, they're still going to use flashbacks when they're necessary for adding context to scenes, but it's not going to be as big as they've been in the past. Number 3 is the Sonus villain, which is kind of like the Black Canary's version of Kovar. Like I said, she and Oliver have this parity between their storylines where she's trying to defeat her big boss while Oliver's trying to defeat his in the flashbacks. And just like Oliver during season 1, she's kind of like a season 1 version of Oliver, she kills him at the end of the episode, but he is a comic book character that was created by Andrew Kreisberg, who's the showrunner on The Flash. He actually wrote the Green Arrow comic for a while. So the Sonus character is just a sonic villain that goes up against Green Arrow and Black Canary during that run. So I always love it when they do comic book characters, but it's even more fun when the characters were created by actual people that are working on the shows right now. Number 2 was the world's quickest Flash crossover. Mark Guggenheim teased this. He said, "Don't blink or you'll miss it." And it was just that funny moment where they're sitting in the Big Belly Burger and Oliver has to prove who he is to Captain Singh. I wouldn't be surprised if they do little crossovers like this in the future, but we're heading into Sweeps Week, like we have the Gorilla City episode on The Flash, so they tend to do the biggest things around Sweeps Weeks. So if there's going to be a big crossover to be had or fun moments like this, they'll time them very carefully just to get people really crazy and hyped up. In number 1, speaking of hyped up, the reveal that she's actually Dinah Drake. So it was a nice twist at the end of the episode. I like the actress, I like the character, I like the way they gave you the explainer for her across the episode, how she sort of like tracks down all these villains. She's a total badass, she's a former police detective. They explained that she has all the skills and she has the command of her abilities that is needed of someone to operate on Team Arrow. So that aside, everyone was really upset because they're like, we want a metahuman Black Canary and we want it to be like Black Siren because she was the closest we got to a Green Arrow Black Canary thing from the comics. But when they announced the character's name was Tina Bolin, everybody just got really upset. People were really upset last week about the Laurel stuff, about the new Black Canary stuff, but tonight when they dropped that bomb at the end of the episode, "Oh, that was only my cover name. My real name is Dinah Drake," the original version of the Black Canary. Everyone was really excited. There's always going to be people that are upset for weird reasons, or they really like the actress and they want her to come back, but the way they explain it is that she is almost beyond redemption. So she's probably going to still be evil when they bring her back on, but now they can do Black Canary versus Black Siren whenever she comes on. It'll be a lot of fun. So let me know, what was your favorite moment from the episode? What do you think about the new Black Canary so far? And she hasn't really picked up the name yet, so it's probably going to be a couple more episodes before they explain how that's going to work. So either way, I feel like it was a great move for the show. I always wanted them to do a metahuman Black Canary. The easiest way to do that was to use the particle accelerator explosion. And really cool, just to get you hyped up for next week, they're going to Russia in present day. Team Arrow is going to Russia. The last time they were there, I think, was during season 2, so it'll be a lot of fun. So everybody make sure you watch next week too. Congratulations to the new Flash Ring giveaway winner, Swift Anima. Please private message me on the back end of my channel so I can get your contact details. I'll name that Injustice 2 giveaway winner the next time I post a DC video. So we got some Marvel, some Star Wars coming tomorrow, there'll be Game of Thrones, probably some new DC this weekend, but if you have requests for Arrow, Flash, bonus videos, stuff that happened this week on the TV shows, just leave them in the comments below. While you guys wait for that to post, you can click here for my Black Flash Legends of Tomorrow, and you can click here for the Flash episode. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Let's high five. I'll see you in the next video.